Good evening, everyone. My name is Pastor Casanova, Principal Traffic. Excuse me?
Go for it.
My name is Pastor Casanova, Principal Traffic Engineer with the City of Glendale's Public Works Department Engineering Division. I'd like to officially welcome you to this community meeting for the Glendale Speed Safety Program, which is now being called to order on November 20th, 2024 at 6:01 p.m. Thank you all for being here. Also with me tonight are two Glendale Public Works Engineering staff members, Mr. Arik Armandayan, Senior Traffic Engineer and Project Manager for the Speed Safety Program to my left, and Ms. Eleonora Derzakian, Civil Engineering Assistant that will be assisting in administering the project and sitting to my immediate right. At this time, we would kindly ask that everyone present here tonight in the council chambers with us, please silence or turn off your mobile devices while the community meeting is in session. Thank you for your cooperation. This meeting is open for in-person attendance and is also being streamed live on YouTube at www.youtube.com/myglendale. That's www.youtube.com/myglendale. And on Zoom. The Zoom meeting ID number is 9127276875. Once again, the Zoom meeting ID number is 9127276875. The recording of this meeting will be made available to the public on YouTube and on the project websites. There will be poll questions during the Zoom presentation for information only. To participate in the poll, please join using the Zoom app. If you join using the Zoom browser, you will not be able to participate in the poll, so we are recommending that you download the Zoom app and join with the Zoom app if you plan on participating in the poll. The Zoom meeting link is also below the YouTube live video in the description section and on the project website under Get Involved. A copy of today's presentation will be available on the project website, again, at www.glendalepwprojects.com, where you can browse the current projects links and click on the Glendale Speed Safety Program. Additional project content, such as the project survey, fact sheet, and frequently asked questions, can be found at glendalespeedsafety.com. Please be sure to take our survey. We welcome the public. We welcome public comments and questions related to this project. Comments and questions will be recorded, answered, and published after today's presentation on the project websites. You can use the you can use the Q&A feature in the Zoom or call area code 818-937-8100 to provide your input and feedback. Once again, the phone number to call in is area code 818-937-8100. If you are attending in person, please be sure to fill out and submit a speaker card that are located at the back of the City Council Chambers room. A few technical notes to mention. For interpretation and translation services of the presentations, please join the Zoom meeting. How to access the interpretation services will be provided at the start of the presentation. Please note that there may be a 30 to 60 second delay between the Zoom and the YouTube broadcasting. I will now pass it over to Mr. Arik Armandayan for a brief overview of the Assembly Bill 645 and the Glendale Speed Safety Program. Mr. Armandayan.
Thank you, Mr. Casanova, and thank you all for attending. Assembly Bill 645 is the Speed Safety System Pilot Program that may only be operational for 5 years. The bill gives 6 cities in California the authority to install automated speed enforcement systems. Glendale is one of those 6 cities. There are 2 key components of the bill: the speed safety system use policy and the impact report. The impact report and the use policy will include information such as a description of the speed safety system and how it works, locations where the system may be deployed, and the processing and storage of confidential information. These documents will be made available for public review for at least 30 calendar days prior to implementation of the speed safety system. Before and after data will be collected to evaluate the speed safety system to determine the system's impact on street safety. This data will be evaluated and sent to the governing body and the transportation committees of the legislature. The city has been working with Kimley Horn and Associates on this project, and we have prepared a few presentation slides and details to share with you tonight. Kimley Horn, please take it away.
All right, thank you, Arik, and thank you, Pastor, and welcome everyone to our meeting this evening. We're happy to have you, and we're pleased to present on the Glendale Speed Safety Program. My name is Brandy Childress, and I'll be one of your presenters tonight, along with the consultant project manager, Alyssa Fanouf, who is here this evening. Before we get started, we do have some things that we need to do, along with making sure everyone who needs other languages to be in a proper channel. So for those of you who do need to attend this meeting in another language, we ask that you go to the globe icon on the screen in Zoom for interpretation services, choose the language you need, and you will go into a separate channel with an interpreter that we have online tonight. If you need closed captioning, you will use the Show Captions button to choose your language and then click the CC button. You'll now hear this in Spanish.
Para empezar en español, haga clic en el globo que está abajo y en la derecha de su pantalla. Después seleccione español y lo pondremos en un cuarto con interpretación en español. Si ocupa subtítulos, haga clic en el botón que dice Show Captions y seleccione su idioma.
Thank you, Fabian. Korean.
이 설명회를 한국어로 듣고 싶은 분들은 밑에 있는 지구 아이콘을 찍어주세요. 찍고 나서 한국어, Korean을 선택해 주세요.
Thank you, Vivian. And because the Zoom platform does not have an Armenian channel, we ask that you go to the French channel, where we will have our interpreter now provide that information.
Բարի երեկո ձեզ, հայերեն լեզվով թարգմանությունը լսելու համար։ Խնդրում ենք Zoom-ի էկրանի վրա գլոբուսի նշանը սեղմեք, եւ քանի որ Zoom-ի պլատֆորմը հայերեն լեզվի համար առանձին ալիք չունի, ընտրեք ֆրանսերենը եւ ֆրանսերենի տակ կլսեք հայերեն լեզվով թարգմանությունը։ Իսկ եթե ցանկանում եք նաեւ տեսնել, թե ինչ է խոսում խոսնակը, խնդրում եմ գնացեք, որտեղ գրված է show caption, այդ կոճակին սեղմեք եւ հետո սեղմեք CC կոճակ։
Thank you. Now we will turn on the interpretation channels for you to go into the rooms, should you need them. Okay. Now we go through quick meeting guidelines. We do want to emphasize that this meeting is being recorded and it will be posted to the website. We will ask that you be respectful and refrain from use of profanity. For our Zoom attendees this evening, we ask that you use the Q&A feature located at the bottom of your screen. This is where you will drop your comments and questions. And I do want to emphasize again that we will not be answering questions in real time, but this will be recorded and the comments and questions will be published to these websites that you see here at a later date. So let's jump into the meeting agenda and I'll turn it over to Alyssa. We want to go over the program with you. We will have an opportunity on Zoom to answer some poll questions that'll get us to be a little more familiar with how you are showing up for this meeting. And then we'll get into the system location methodology, use policy, citations and revenue. We'll talk about next steps, do a second poll, and then we'll go through the project website and get into questions and comments. All right, Alyssa, it is your turn.
Thank you, Brandy. As the city staff mentioned, this project was made possible by Assembly Bill 645, which is introduced by the Transportation Committee on Transportation. That bill passed the Assembly on September 12th of 2024 with 62 yeses, 9 noes, and 9 no votes. With the passage of AB 645, the California State Legislature authorized a speed safety camera pilot program for 6 designated cities, including Glendale. The other cities include Los Angeles, Long Beach, San Jose, Oakland, and San Francisco. This Assembly bill allows cities to use automated equipment for enforcement of speeding violations. Now, this is a pilot program, and what that means is that the program will be in place for about 5 years. After 5 years, there will be a before and after study conducted, and the state will determine if this program is going to be permanent or not. The speed safety, next slide, the speed safety program is an automated equipment. It's a program that uses automated equipment like cameras to detect speeding violations. Once a vehicle has violated the speed limit, the system obtains a clear photograph of the speeding vehicle's rear license plate. The only data that is captured as part of this program is the speeding vehicle's rear license plate. The objective of this program is to mitigate speed safety related issues, improve street safety, and reduce speed related crashes. This program has proven effective in other places where they have shown positive results and impacts. For example, in New York City, speeding decreased by 73% and injuries decreased by 35% after the speed cameras were implemented. In Chicago, fatal and severe crashes went down by over 15%. And in Portland, crashes decreased by 43%. We're hoping to duplicate those results in Glendale. We'll now go to our first poll question.
Great, thank you, Alyssa. Okay, let's flash the poll questions. And for those of you who might be in the room at the council chambers, you can use this QR code to also participate in the poll. Okay, first question. We'd really like to know how you heard about this meeting, whether that was through city newsletter, email, social media, potentially from the traditional news outlet, word of mouth, or other. We'd also like to know how you most travel or commute through Glendale. Carpool, drive solo, ride a bicycle or a motorcycle or a scooter, take public transit, use a mobility device, or walk. We'd love to know. And then third, we do want to know how much you already know about the speed safety camera technology. It's okay if you know nothing, if you know a little, or you know a lot. The point is that we hope by the end of this meeting tonight that you will have a better understanding. Let's give it 5 more seconds for people to vote, and then we will quickly flash the results. Oops. Okay, I am not seeing the results. Aha, there they are. Okay, so 40% of you, I'm sorry, let's start with the first one. How did you hear about this meeting? One person heard about it through email, one through social media. We do have someone who also learned it from a traditional news outlet, but word of mouth is probably the most popular, 50% of you. How do you most travel? 40% of you carpool. Congratulations, I love that. And then 60% of you are driving solo, and we do not have any other modes of transportation yet here, but oh no, we do. We have 60% of you walk. That's fantastic. And lastly, 20% of you in the audience know a lot about the camera technology. 60% of you know a little, and then 20% know nothing. So we're gonna change that by the end of this evening. Okay, back to you, Alyssa, for more about the methodology.
Thank you. So to identify the preliminary locations for the speed safety camera enforcement implementation, we used a variety of data sources to identify where there is a problem. We looked at previous studies that the city has already done, like the local road safety plan. We also looked at speed-related crashes, data from speeding citations, the geography of the city, and more. Based on this analysis, we've currently identified 16 preliminary locations, and we will narrow down to 9 locations for the initial pilot implementation. And this is where we need your input today. At the end of this presentation, we will share a QR code and link to the project website where you can provide feedback on these preliminary locations. Also, as part of this study, we're preparing a use policy, which is required by the Assembly bill. The use policy will be available for public review and explains the logistics of the program, including data storage and privacy. Some of the key elements of the use policy include facts like the data will be stored and encrypted in a cloud or local IT storage and in the vendor software. The vendor and the City of Glendale are responsible for the storing and protection of data. The department will not share this confidential information with anyone, including other departments or entities within the City of Glendale, state, or other federal agencies. Confidential records and evidence may be retained for up to 60 days after final disposition of the notice of violation. And speaking of violations, the use policy will also talk about the citations and how revenue will be used. The citations, the first citation will for a vehicle violation will for a vehicle traveling 11 miles or more than the posted speed limit will be a warning for the 60-day period after the speed safety program is implemented. After that initial warning period, there will be a $50 fine for driving 11 to 15 miles an hour over the speed limit, a $100 fine for driving 16 to 25 miles an hour over, $200 fine for driving 26 miles per hour over the speed limit, and up to $500 for driving 100 miles or more per hour over the speed limit. These revenues for the fines, the revenues taken from the violations will be used to first recover the program costs. Additional revenue will be used for traffic calming measures and possibly the California Active Transportation Program. Thank you for joining the meeting today. The point here is to receive, right now we're in our public input phase where we are looking for input on the locations. You can provide input on our website, which is linked here, and also accessible for the QR code. We will be having an in-person open house tomorrow. We'll be answering additional questions. You can see the details on your screen. Initially, we're looking for feedback to finalize those system locations. And the website will be taking feedback through the end of this calendar year, through the end of 2024. After we have chosen locations, we will publicize the use policy and impact report 30 days before implementation of the system for public input. The implementation of the pilot program and the system will begin in 2025. Thank you. Those are all the slides that we have today. I appreciate your involvement. We have one more question for you.
Yes, we're going to go back to the meeting poll. So if we could get started. We do want to know, in a fairly short answer, what your biggest concern about the speed safety camera program is. We're also wondering what you might be looking forward to most about the program. So if you could take, 30 seconds to let us know in a short form answer, what are your concerns and what are you looking forward to? Also, like we promised, we wanted to know after this presentation how much you understand about not only the program, but the legislation that we discussed. Hopefully you've gained a better understanding and are excited about its implementation. But there is also an option where you might understand it, but you still are uncertain about its effectiveness. And you may still have a limited understanding or do not have an understanding of the technology. And we want to know if we can move the needle on that. So please put in your answers. I won't be going over the answers here live, but what I do want to do is go into how you can learn more about the program if in fact you are still not quite understanding how it works. We've created a project website, and here you will find everything you need to know about the program. We have fact sheets and frequently asked questions in multiple languages that you can review. And we also have a map of all the 16 locations that are being proposed. And we are asking that you pick your top priority locations that you would like to see this type of technology. Once you're there, you can also contact the team with further questions. And this is the location that we will also be posting answers to questions that we received tonight. Speaking of questions and comments, we understand that there might be attendees in the council chambers who would like to speak. We ask that you fill out the speaker card and then head to the podium and speak into the microphone there so we can capture your questions and comments. If you need to also call in, their phone number is 818-937-8100. And then there are those of you who are on the Zoom, and we appreciate your time virtually. We ask that you use the Q&A feature to put your comments and questions in there. And with that, I will turn it back over to the council chambers to finish and close this out.
Thank you very much, Brandy, and thank you to the entire Kimley Horn team for the wonderful presentation. With the conclusion of the presentation, I would like to thank also all of the attendees and viewers that joined us remotely for participating in tonight's community meeting for the Glendale Speed Safety Program. As a reminder, please make sure to take our survey and visit the Public Works and project web pages at www.glendalepwprojects.com and glendalespeedsafety.com. We would like to highlight that today's community meeting is to inform the public about the Glendale Speed Safety Program and provide you an opportunity to provide us with feedback. Transparency and public engagement is a critical part in the success of this program. As mentioned in the presentation, we have 16 preliminary locations identified. However, only 9 will be chosen for final implementation based on the requirements outlined in the Assembly Bill 645 legislation. The goal of the Speed Safety Program is to significantly reduce speeding, improve traffic safety, and prevent traffic-related fatalities and serious injuries on our roadways. Now, we would like to welcome comments and questions regarding this project. To do so, please submit your speaker card to Ms. Ani Oganessian over to my right and approach the podium when called upon. Or you can also call at the following telephone number, area code 818-937-8100. That's 818-937-8100. Ms. Oganessian, can you tell me how many speaker cards and callers we currently have in the queue?
Yes, we currently have 0 speaker cards and 1 caller in the queue, Mr. Casanova, excuse me.
Thank you. So based on that number of callers and speakers in the queue, we'll go ahead and allow for 3 minutes for comments. So if you can please go ahead and welcome our caller.
Okay, can you hear me? This is Damien Kevitt.
Damien, you're live on air. You have 3 minutes.
Great, thank you. As most of you know, or those of you involved in this program, there's 3 criteria for where those cameras can be placed, which is known street racing corridors, schools, school zones, and high injury network, roads with a high injury network. Is it clear on the website, the sites that are options in terms of what characteristics make those the options, whether they are a known street racing corridor, a school zone, or possibly a combination of several of those? That is my question that I have, and if it's not known on the website, if that could be made known, that would be appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for that comment. And Ms. Oganessian, Do we have any further callers in the queue?
Not at this time.
Thank you. Since we don't have any more callers or speakers in the queue, I would just like to take this opportunity to remind all those that are viewing or interested in commenting that we welcome public comments and questions related to this project. Comments and questions will be recorded, answered, and published after today's presentation on the project websites. You can use the Q&A feature in the Zoom conference call, or you can call the following telephone number at area code 818-937-8100 to provide your input and feedback. Again, the phone number is 818-937-8100. And if you're attending in person, please fill out and submit a speaker card located in the back of the room. And we'll pause for a second to see if we get any further callers or comment cards.
And while we wait, I do want to just remind folks, our attendees online, that they can put their questions in the Q&A box, and we would like to see those. Although I'm not reading them aloud tonight, we'd still like to have them for record and to respond to them on the website.
Brandy, would you be able to also remind everybody about tomorrow's in-person community meeting, as well as where it is located? If not, I have that information.
You may as well go ahead and do that.
Okay,
I have it somewhere here.
sounds good.
On the slide.
So
Yeah.
for those of you that would like to join us during tomorrow's in-person community meeting for the Assembly Bill 645 Speed Safety Program, that will be held at the Adult Recreation Center in the City of Glendale, located at 201 East Colorado in Glendale, and the zip code is 91205. The address again is 201 East Colorado. And we would be more than glad to have you there tomorrow. We will have a lot of information regarding the project. We will have also staff available to help you understand the project and answer any questions and feedback that you may have. I also want to continue to remind everybody to please take our survey and view our project websites. The Public Works website is www.glendalepwprojects.com, and the Speed Safety Program website is glendalespeedsafety.com. And please go to these websites, learn more about the project, and take our survey. Ms. Oganessian, do we have any callers in the queue?
We have no callers, Mr. Casanova.
Thank you.
I believe we don't have any attendees on Zoom any longer.
Okay.
No, I was wrong.
Thank you. So with that, I'll just offer one more reminder, nevertheless, for anybody possibly watching on YouTube. For those of you that would like to join us in tomorrow's in-person meeting, it will be held at the Adult Recreation Center located at 201 East Colorado, Glendale, California, 91205. And the meeting will start at 6 p.m. tomorrow. And with that, in light of the fact that we don't have any more speaker cards or callers, I'd like to thank everybody for attending tonight, and please remember to visit our department and project websites. Again, www.glendalePWprojects.com and glendalespeedsafety.com to learn more about the project and take our survey. We will now conclude and adjourn the community meeting for the Glendale Speed Safety Program on November 20th, 2024 at 6:31 p.m. Thank you.